Alright, this is our Lugong 856 tool carrier loader. Weighs about 42,000 pounds. It's got a Cummins 6.7 in it, rated at 220 horse, a ZF auto shift transmission, and they run ZF axles and differentials, planetary systems too. Behind here is the radiator. You can take these little wing nuts off, and there's a small screen that you can take off to clean. It helps keep trash out of the radiator. It's also got a reversible hydraulic fan. You can set it on automatic, so every 15 minutes it automatically reverses, or you can manually reverse the flow of the fan. That way it can blow the trash out of the radiator if you're in a real dusty environment, or grinding hay, that kind of thing. We've got a plug-in right here for the block heater on the engine. And if you notice over here, there's drain plugs right there. You can drain the transmission fluid, the hydraulic fluid, or the engine oil all from one location. There's a little sight glass right there for the fuel tank. If you walk around back, this is where the radiator fan is. Back here, there's a hydraulic fan. Got a big pin there on the counterweight for tow bar pin. And then in here is where you can fill up the fuel tank, right in that area. And under here, you can take and lift up the hood. It's got electric lift on the hood. There's the electric lift on the hood, and there's that Cummins 6.7 engine. We'll run over to the other side and I'll show you a few features on this engine. But this is that QSB 6.7 Cummins engine. If you notice, it's got a fuel filter with a hand pump right on the fuel filter down here. That way, if you do need to change filters, or if you had number 2 in there and it gelled up on you, you can spin that filter off, prime the system, and get up and going. It's handy, easy to get at. The starter's easy to get at. The alternator, everything's pretty recognizable on this engine. It's set up user-friendly, easy to maintain. It has there's a cover on the exhaust that helps keep the heat out of the engine compartment. Also allows that air to escape up through the exhaust area. Kind of causes a suction, the exhaust does, so it sucks air out of the engine compartment up through with the exhaust. They got a Turbo 2 cleaner on it for an air cleaner up there. It really helps keep the dirt and dust out of that air cleaner and air filter compartment. So that's kind of a rundown on the engine. And right in here they got a lock compartment, and it's got your accumulators for your braking system. It's got some pressure ports for checking pressures, and there's some wheel chocks in here too to block the tires with. And then there's some other pressure gauges and stuff in there. We'll keep those in this compartment. The main pins on this one has auto greasing on it. This is our auto greasing feature. It's set on a timer. You can program this. This is where you fill it up. Use lithium grease in here. And I think right now it's set for every 15 minutes of operation. It gives it a shot of grease, just a small shot of grease. And it's a proportional valve. These are proportional valves. So if you have one hose that breaks or something, all the grease just doesn't go to that area. It sends the same amount of grease to every fitting. But if you notice, every fitting on here, even the center pins, steering pins, the only thing that isn't greased is the drive line. Otherwise, everything else on here is auto greased. It's nice and clean in here. They keep everything tied together. They got heavy-duty hoses on everything, and everything's pretty well secured. Allowed for bending and stuff, so you shouldn't have any problems with wear and tear on this machine. The pumps are This actually has 3 hydraulic pumps on it. They're Denison pumps. And 2 of the main pumps run right off the transmission. And those pumps, one of them's for the loader operation itself, the other pump's just for the steering. That way you're not robbing any power from the lifting capabilities when you go to steer the machine. And there's another pump directly off the motor that runs the brakes, because it does have hydraulic wet brakes on it. This is the quick catch system. It's the same as Volvo or JBC, so we'll interchange with those. We took the bucket off. We're getting the GrabTech grapple fork installed on the bucket right now. Heavy duty system. Another thing they do is they put O-rings in here on the pins on each side. Keeps the dirt out, keeps the grease in. Nice little feature. It does have ride control on it, which basically these lift arms act as a shock absorber in the ride control mode. So you can pretty much go down the road full speed with this thing and you don't get the bucking action that you do. As soon as you turn that ride control on, it just smooths this thing right out. We got lift irons on, or lifting hooks right there to tie it down with. Like I said, it's got a ZF differential and ZF axles under it. If you look over here, they got 23.5 R25 radial tires. These are double coin radial tires on it with a very aggressive tread on it. That tread works well in snow and in dirt. It's a very good tread. On this side you have your hydraulic oil over here, and there's a sight gauge on it, and also down at the bottom of the steps on the other side there's a sight gauge for the transmission fluid as well. The cab has a door on this side also, and the windows go all the way down to the floor on this. Pretty much the same cab, same setup as our 842. This is a quick view of the dash and the controls. Here's all your buttons down here for your lights and some diagnostics. You can push on that and get a diagnostic code for your engine. Up here's your gauges. You got your fuel gauges, your transmission and water temperatures, your RPM, and your speedometer right there. And then there's warning lights that come on for your park lights. This is a transmission engage, disengage light. Over here for buttons, if this had automatic greasing, you'd push that to automatically grease it. Rear window defroster, wipers, beacon, and then your transmission engage, disengage button. And over on this side, your joystick with your shifting levers, forward and reverse. This is for your third valve. To operate that, it's got a little lock on it so you can't move it. You can take that off if you're going to use it for a grapple. Your parking brake. Over here is where you can hook your computer up to it for engine diagnostics. This is your air conditioning and heating. And then this locks your third valve. This is ride control. And this is, I'll shut this fan off. This is your ride control button, and this is for your fan to reverse your fan manually or reverse your fan automatically. So that's what those buttons do. And it's got a radio on it. A couple nice speakers. Turn that off. It's got a sunshade up here. Lights for in the cab, and also a sunshade back here. A nice big compartment over here for storage, adjustable armrest for your lever there, and over here on this side it's got a big storage area spot you can put a drink in, and it's got a 12-volt cigarette lighter adapter to plug your phone in. Plenty of vents around here, keep the windshield nice and clean in the winter time. Spot to hang your coat up there. Nice roomy cab. And that's pretty much everything on the loader. Oh, it does also have tilt steering wheel. You can tilt it back and forward, plus you can pull it out towards you too, up or down. And that's a walk through the cab. on the 842. Alright, now we're inside this loader. I'm going to go through how to operate this loader. Basically, you turn the key on, and then you have to come over here on your joystick and hit the neutral button to make sure it's in neutral, and then it'll finish starting the rest of the way. Now, what you can do to put it into gear, you have to hold this button right back here with your finger. Hold that down and push it in forward. Now it's in gear to go forward. And then you got to take the parking brake off over here too. Okay? Push in on the parking brake. Now you're in forward second gear automatically. Hit reverse, you're in reverse second gear. To drop it down into first gear, you can either hit this button right back here to get it to first gear, or you can hit the minus button. Now you're in first gear. Push this, you're back into forward gear. And this is neutral. Now another thing you can do is when you go into forward gear, if you want it to shift fully automatic first through 4 on its own, just like putting a car in drive, you just hit this plus button till all these light up over here, then it's in the drive mode. Then it'll shift automatically first through 4th gear. It's all